So, Tashanea, the reason for this lawsuit stems from the federal government believing Texas' redistricting plans for its congressional delegation violates the Voting Rights Act because it's discriminatory. Republicans' efforts to protect their U.S. House seats in Texas by redrawing voting maps was approved back in October. The redistricting process had many people believing it would end in a disadvantage for black and brown communities. Hundreds of people in Texas testified against this new map. Despite that, it passed during a vote inside the state capitol that will put Republicans at an advantage over Democrats for the next 10 years. The Justice Department says Republicans are diminishing the right to vote on account of race that deliberately minimizes the opportunity for voting in minority communities. Now, this lawsuit asks that because of this map Republicans have approved, it will lead to an inequality of for black voters to participate in the political process and elect a representative of their choice. Tashanea.
All right, Derrick. So what other legal trouble is Texas facing, and how are Democrats actually working to make sure there's an even playing field, especially with midterms next year?
Yeah, that is coming up. But right now, more lawsuits have been filed. The Mexican American Legal Defense and Educational Fund, representing several civil rights groups on behalf of Latinos in the state, they're suing the governor and the Secretary of State. Now, Democrats, they are also saying that more people need to get registered to vote and make their voices heard by voting. Tashanea.
All right, Derrick, thanks for that report. All right, joining us now to help us break down this lawsuit, we got political strategist Carlos Scart. We also have Kerryane Burke, and we also have the founder of the Black Male Voter Project, Mondale Robinson. We got an all-star panel for you today, folks. All right, Kerryane, we'll start with you. This redistricting map in Texas, it was enacted in October. So why now? Why did the AG file that lawsuit now?
Because they just passed it, basically. So the reason they want to bring forth this suit is because we now see the maps for what they are. They are discriminatory. The population growth in Texas is largely responsible because of the black uptick in population as well as the Latino population. However, the district maps that they put forth and that they passed in their legislature has basically cut the lines through those communities to make it so that the Anglo population actually has an advantage over the black and brown communities, which is very problematic. That is called gerrymandering for those who don't know. It's diluting the voting block of the black and brown communities. And we know that this is against our federal legislation. So this is the great opportunity for the AG to come in and figure out how to remedy this situation. This is why the suit is in place. So this is what we're watching right now.
All right, Mondale, can you break down what Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act is and why the Attorney General says this new voting map in Texas is in direct violation of it?
Well, yeah, I mean, so we know that in 2013, some majority of the teeth of the Voting Rights Act was removed when
Section
they said
5,
that.
Right?
Yeah, Section 5. When it was removed, we literally lost so much of like the pre-clearances and all that we needed to protect black and brown voters in southern states, and actually now we're seeing all over this country. So what Section 2 did was save us a little bit of protection, saying that you could actually discriminate on the redistricting as long as you did it on the partisan lines, but you can't do it on the racial lines, right? So we see in Texas what they were basically doing was, even though the increases have been mostly black and brown people, what they were doing were basically discriminating intentionally, is what the Attorney General said, intentionally on those terms, on black and brown people. They were literally taking their votes and drawing lines that made no sense. So even beyond the idea of partisan gerrymandering, which to me is disgusting in itself, they went to racially gerrymandering. This is an attack on democracy in a way that we should be screaming, because what we're seeing from our Republican counterparts is that they no longer are willing to run elections based on ideas or principles or philosophies. They simply want to win elections by stealing them. And this is absolutely the reason we need to not wait on the Supreme Court, which is already conservative itself. We need our legislators in Washington, D.C. to put pre-clearance into our Constitution so as to protect our brothers and sisters in southern states.
Yeah. Carlos, with that in mind, does Governor Abbott's statement that this lawsuit is politically motivated, I mean, can a blind man see that this won't hold up?
Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles could rise from the dead and see this is politically motivated. I mean, to piggyback on what our first colleague said, I mean, this is the textbook gerrymandering case. And, I also agree that it doesn't make any sense for them to have the incentive or the right to be able to redistrict or gerrymander based on political parties, which doesn't make any sense. That seems to be unconstitutional. But they are obviously doing this on a racial standpoint because, as it's also been documented, the rise and uptick in voter registration, especially there in Texas, has been drastically Black and brown people. But they have figured out some kind of matrix. I don't know what kind of equation they use to draw these districts, but they have intentionally tried to basically select their own voters as opposed to the voters selecting the elected officials. Yeah. And those elected officials are going to be predominantly white.
Mondale, you want to chime in?
Yeah, I would say the governor's right. The lawsuit is politically motivated, and the politics is his party. The Republicans created a political, racial map that we need to sue against. So he's absolutely right. It is politically motivated, but because they don't want to play politics in a way that it allows democracy to work. They want to play politics in a way where a shrinking portion, talking about the white population in this country, in Texas specifically, wants to control the power, even though they're not the majority, or they won't be the majority real soon in that state. And I don't think that's fair, not to democracy, but definitely not to people that are doing all types of harm to other people because of their majority. I'm talking about the Republicans in Texas. If you see what they did to women, if you see what this lawsuit that Texas and Missouri just filed to restart the Donald Trump era back to Mexico plan for people seeking asylum. So we absolutely need to have this political fight that they started with these ridiculous maps.
Yeah, Kerryane, you want to weigh in on that?
Yes, I know that the governor had made certain statements about the legalities of the suit from the DOJ, saying that it probably won't stand up and so forth. But I want to speak to the fact that it is very intentional when you look at the maps of how they drew the lines, how they cut through districts in Fort Worth, Dallas, and some of the other heavily Hispanic population. The population of the Hispanic growth was about 95%. So therefore, the new congressional seats that Texas actually got due to the census, for them to not have a representative that would essentially come from a minority group is kind of alarming in and of itself, because that's where the population growth occurred. So we know that on its face is discriminatory. In addition, we also know that the governor made comments saying that it wasn't that politically motivated in the way that they drew it because of the sentiment that many of the people in Texas have a conservative lean, even if they're Democrats. So he was saying that the way they drew it was because there were certain political ideologies that they actually all have a commonality together. And we know that's far-reaching, and that's definitely not what it is. I've been to Texas, my family's down there, and I see the growth, I see the difference, and I know some people are very afraid of that difference that's coming in, all of the shifts in the migration. So this is a very strict drawing of the map that we need to address, because it's a big state. It will have an impact on our midterm elections. It will have an impact in 2024. And we as Americans need to defend our democracy.
All right, we got to take a break, but before we do, Carlos, I want to let you know Stevie Wonder is very much so alive and well. Just had to make that point, okay? It's BNC.